Have you ever received an email in which what the subject says and what is in the email are two different conversations? Isn't that confusing? It happens when the email conversation changes over a period of time. What can we do to make this situation better? Do you want to learn? Let's get started. Welcome to Grow with Girija, where we learn about public speaking, communication, and life. Today's topic is when the subject of the email and the conversation in the email do not match. What do we do? In an ideal world, one email should be for one conversation. But we do not live in an ideal world. In the real world, an email is actually started for one single conversation most of the time. But over a period, new topics get added, the older ones get completed or closed, and some new thread starts. What happens? After a point, the subject of the email and the body, the conversation, do not match. And that is very confusing for the new recipients of the email, especially because they don't know where this conversation started. They can, of course, go to the end of the email, probably which was a month ago, which started, but it is so difficult, so time consuming, it's so confusing. So, what can we do as the recipients of that email to make the situation better? Before I tell you, let me share with you an example of this situation. In this example, your team member sends you an email saying that he has some issue on his laptop. You send this email to the support group and you have some back and forth conversation with that group. Finally, the manager of that group responds saying that this issue has been resolved and also reminds you that some of your team members have to upgrade an important software on their system. In this case, you have two options. One is to forward the email to your team asking them to upgrade the software. But remember, in this case, the subject of that email would not match with what you are asking them because the subject was originally about one team member's laptop issue. So what could you do instead? That is what I recommend in this video. Change the subject to match with the latest conversation. You could say that I'm changing subject by saying changing the subject line in the first line of your email and then mention your conversation. That way, anybody who receives this email now can relate to the latest conversation as well as subject of that email. Now you might say, why wouldn't we send a new email? It is true. In some situations, we could choose to send a new email. But sometimes the conversations which have happened in past have some context which is helpful in understanding the latest email. That is why using the same conversation and changing the subject might as well work. What was your learning from this video? If you liked it, like the video, share it with others and subscribe to the channel to support it. I will see you in another video of Grow with Girija. Till then, keep learning, keep practicing and keep growing because change is inevitable but growth is optional.